Legalization of marijuana. What is marijuana? Marijuana is a plant, marijuana is a drug, and marijuana is a medicine. Marijuana, otherwise known as cannabis, is a psychoactive drug that is used for recreational, entheogenic purposes, and used in various traditional medicines. For most people, they know somebody or are close to somebody who has used or consumed marijuana at some point in their life. If this is the case, you may already be familiar with the effects or general purpose of what the drug is used for. For some, this may be a negative association, but for many, it is not only seen as beneficial, but necessary in certain instances. There are several different forms and variations that marijuana is utilized, and for some people, certain alternatives are preferred over others. While there are negatives that come with the drug, there are countless benefits that outweigh them. Why should marijuana be legalized? Job growth. The cannabis industry itself now supports 428,059 full-time equivalent jobs in the United States. Last year marked the first year that the job creation in the cannabis industry hit six figures. After adding 32,700 jobs in 2019 and 77,300 jobs in 2020, the industry added another 159,000 new cannabis jobs in 2021. Positively impacted tax revenue. As of March 2022, states reported a combined total of $11.2 billion in tax revenue from legal adult use cannabis sales. In 2021 alone, legalization states generated more than $3.7 billion in cannabis tax revenue from adult use sales. Decreasing crime rate. In a report done by the USSC, it states that our results indicate that the medical marijuana laws result in significant reduction in both violent and property crime rates, with larger effects in the Mexican border states. In 2020, researchers looked at how adult use marijuana legalization in Washington and Colorado affected crime rates in neighboring states, and the resulting study determined the passage of recreational cannabis laws may have actually reduced certain major crimes in nearby jurisdictions. Why shouldn't marijuana be legalized? Marijuana is very much associated with other drugs and known as a gateway drug. A gateway drug essentially means that marijuana is used by people who haven't experienced other drugs, and they get into marijuana and they end up needing more and more, and they go on and do other stronger and much more harmful substances. So as the report says, using longitudinal data from National Epidemiological Study of Alcohol Use and Related Disorders found that adults who reported marijuana use during the first wave of the survey were more likely than adults who did not use marijuana to develop an alcohol use disorder within 3 years. Essentially, it is saying that marijuana is common in people using other drugs and people using alcohol or even nicotine. It is important to note that other factors besides biological mechanisms, such as a person's social environment, are also critical in a person's risk for drug use. That basically means that it's not only the drugs you use, but the environment that you live in and the people that surround you. Stay safe out there, guys. Deaths caused by marijuana use. While there are little to no medically issued deaths caused by marijuana, there are other factors that are impacted by marijuana use. Impaired driving. They found that prior to the legalization of marijuana in states, about 8.8% of drivers involved in the fatal traffic crashes tested positive for THC. Over the 12 to 24 months following legalization, that percentage more than doubled to 18%. By 2017, the 5th year after legalization, 21.7% of drivers involved in fatal accidents were THC positive. But the exact meaning of this increase is unclear, as testing positive for THC doesn't necessarily correlate with being impaired by marijuana. We're excited. We are taught from a young age that marijuana is an injurious plant that does nothing but hinder the mind of motivation and ambition, while also acting as a gateway drug to other potentially harmful substances. Nevertheless, the economic benefits, such as job growth, positively impact tax revenue, and countless other benefits outweigh the negatives that are so often distorted. With the information and statistics I have provided, I hope you are able to understand and consider the advantages and benefits